hope you guys are doing well. In this video I'm going to talk about two things. The first thing I'll talk about is how the oil project has helped me. The second thing I'll talk about the differences and similarities that I found from UK to Indonesia. So this oil project has helped me a lot. I've learned many new skills and developed them, such as team working, and also made many new friends. And I realised what Indonesia is like, and maybe when I'm older I'd like to visit there. The main difference I found from UK to Indonesia is when I was looking at Gert Hofstede's analysis. This analysis from the culture such as Indonesia, and they specifically look at 6 dimensions. The dimension I'm going to look at is power distance, commonly known as PDI. In England, the PDI is 35, whereas Indonesia, the PDI is 78. This basically means that the wealth gap is much greater than in Indonesia, whereas in the UK it's much smaller. Overall, this means that here in the UK, per average, a person will spend more on transport than Indonesia. I hope this has helped you, and I hope that you've learned.
It's Megan again. So briefly, I'm just going to explain about my experience, the oil project. So far, I've really enjoyed it, not just because I've been enriched with information from Indonesia and the UK, but I've also enjoyed working with friends and making new ones too. Now, to talk a bit about how the industries both capture data, in the UK, in London, there's TfL, which is Transport for London, and they use an Oyster card to capture data. So they can find out what train routes are busiest, and also they can inform people when train journeys are delayed. Going back to Indonesia, they released a smart card a few years back, and that is to benefit the poor, so they're enriched with health and education benefits. However, in this case, there were some backlash. So they said that they didn't capture enough data with regards to economic, social and geographic obstacles. But despite that, I found that both cases, both in the UK and Indonesia, they captured data to benefit the public.
I'm glad to have you back. I'm really happy and proud to be part of this project. Will give me a larger perspective about how to analyze and explain the approach in the business. However, I found interesting that we have the same program in working practice. We have a normal program Monday to Friday, begins till 8 a.m. till 5 a.m. and all of us make sure that we set an hour break for lunch, which is good. What I found interesting is that in Indonesia, people are more flexible and more different towards the time. So it's not like surprising for them to have like a late in a business meeting or a social event, which is good because they are not too stressed about the time.
Hi, my name's Stephanie. So today we will be talking about the similarities and differences. But first I wanted to talk about my experience in this project. So through this experience I have learnt how to interact with others and how to increase my teamwork skills. So now talking about the differences, I'm going to be talking about the education system. So in Indonesia it's compulsory to have 9 years of education. However, in the UK, it's compulsory to have 11 years of education. And in England specifically, it recently changed so that we had to be in education up until the age of 18. The school holidays are very similar. They both run from July to September. However, in Indonesia, they also have another holiday, and this is usually for about a month, and it's because of Ramadan, and this is due to the fact that about 88% of their religion is Islamic.
Hi guys, I'm Wam, nice to chat with you again. I'd like to share my experience in oil projects, which means I've learned a lot, talk with people, interact, and develop my new skills. Talk about difference and similarities, or similarity across industries. I found that in Indonesia, so the power distance is much higher than in the UK, which means the structural organization is different, which means the communication between the employers and the employee is very limited. Rather in the UK, the employer have more power to talk in decision make, which helps the development. Overall, both business or both companies, each country, they run with the same objective, profit margin.